I heard that's what they do to sync up shit.
Some kind of a sound is good, yeah. Some kind of a bell. I guess clapping, yeah. I haven't heard that one, but that will work for sure. Yeah.
It's my YouTube knowledge, son.
YouTube knowledge. Yeah.
All right, so we were talking about last time we met universal intelligence.
Okay.
And I think when we talked about it, we probably went 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
But to sum it up for people who are unawares to this sort of concept,
okay,
how would you go about doing that?
All right. So the idea of universal intelligence goes so, I don't know, has so many layers to it, but the basis of it is, I believe every single person is universally intelligent, as in everybody's as intelligent as everybody else. I think that there's this idea of a lack of intelligence, which is actually linked to things like ignorance that people don't understand. And then I feel like if you don't have that knowledge of self and your intelligence in you, it might harm your self-esteem, or it might hinder you to understand how powerful you really are. And it kind of leads to people being able to take advantage of you or put you down or tell you things about yourself in some kind of a way. And when I say that, there's a lot of I don't know, man. There's a lot that goes along with it, because people go, there's situations where your intelligence is going to be infected, because, you know, we're a body, and just like anything else, if you have a radio and then you mess up the antenna, it's just not going to be bringing in the signal right, you know. So even though everybody is universally intelligent, if there's some kind of a physical thing wrong, if something happened, if there's an accident or something that somebody's born with, and they can't reach they can't do something physically, they're not going to be as intelligent as another person. But that's nothing to do with like smartness or anything like that. It's just something they can't reach. But as far everybody, if there's not something physically wrong stopping you, or some kind of illness or something, then I believe you are exactly as intelligent as everybody else. And I say that in, people will look at mathematicians and scientists and people that can remember numbers really well and think these are the highly intelligent people, and then they kind of like don't pay attention to like the jocks, you know, if we're going to use stereotypes or labels or like that, you know, or like say there's like a kid and he's you know, doing really bad in his classes, but he likes rap and all this stuff, but he knows everything about rap. He knows every lyric, you know what I'm saying? And maybe there's this guy, maybe he gets into selling drugs and stuff, but he's really good at it, you know? And it's really strange that you don't want to really look at kids in the street as entrepreneurs. You know, people don't look at the drive that it takes somebody that they're putting in this work and the intelligence that they have to make it work. That's not looked at as the same as somebody who came from somewhere else who starts their own little small business, you know? It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is we live in a society where we let some people tell other people what's good and what's bad. So if you take a plant and then you grow it and then you sell it to other people that want that plant, you got like this business going on like that, like you're a piece of shit. But if you start a pharmaceutical company, you know, and you're selling things that are killing and hurting people, you're really, really intelligent, you know? And it's kind of like I'm trying to link the idea and get rid of this idea of people wanting intelligence to be linked with the things that they like. You know, intelligence isn't just mathematics and things like that. Intelligence is everything. And to prove that everybody is as intelligent as everybody else, it's not even hard because everybody can do super complicated physics and calculus and all these insane computations that we all can do. You know, you can take the dumbest guy in the world, he can walk. You know, and we think of walking as just doing it easy, right? But what you're really doing is you're taking in your environment, you're calculating all of the distances between all of this stuff, and you're considering your weight and everything that's around you, and you're throwing it out there. And you're getting it right, and you're not even trying. It's so easy to walk.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The complication of that process of physics and understanding what you're doing, your brain's doing it all, so you don't really think of yourself as doing it, but you are, you know? And that goes for everything. Throw a ball, you know? It'd be pretty easy for me to throw a ball and hit that table. It wouldn't take a lot of effort, but the computation that goes into it to understand how to do it in the first place, it's super complicated, and everybody can do it. Everybody can do it, you know?
That's a good point. I think also another interesting point was that you talked about, you know, if someone's lacking a physical aspect of their body. Right. Like my son, he can't see. He's pretty blind. But he gets around.
Right.
I don't understand how he does it, but it seems to be that like he's just naturally compensating for the things that he lacks and overcompensating for everything.
It's so amazing. So I'm so glad you said that. Think about it this way. We're all just these processors. And we're using what we have to do what we want to do. You know? And if you don't have arms, you just don't have that. So you're going to do everything else. You're just processing. You're processing. And you're doing it. You know, you're doing it. You're processing. And you're going to put it together. No matter what it is, you're going to figure it out. And to say that, I lean it beyond just humans. I think everything has this. I don't feel like we're some kind of special thing that's just us with this. I think ants and bees and bears, whatever it is, I feel they all have this exact same universal intelligence. The only difference is they're using what they have.
All right, so how would you define this intelligence?
If I were to define it, it would be something, it would be a processing, it would be some kind of, it's some kind of way you're processing things. That's something I'll have to ask for some other people too to see what we can come up with. But the best I would do right now is say it's just processing information. It's just observing things and being aware of what's around you. So that's what everything is doing. If it's a bear or whatever it is, what it is it's receiving data, it's processing it, and then it's using what it has. You know, we have all kinds of memory and stuff, and this imagination, and it really benefits us. But if we didn't have all those things, we were a lot more simple. We can only do what we can do. A fish can only want what it has the ability to understand and to receive and to do. So a fish just wants to swim and eat and fuck or whatever, this is what it wants to do, you know? It's just, but it's the exact same. It doesn't, if you give that fish a prefrontal, give fish a prefrontal. Game changer. Oh, look, dolphins. And people are gonna be mad, dolphins aren't fish, but they're fucking smarter than us.
All right.
You know?
That's what they say. That's what they say, right?
I think they probably are. So think about this. They're talking with fucking echolocation and shit like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know, right? And people can do that too. You ever seen the people that like echolocate?
Like Daredevil?
No, like in real life. It's fucking amazing, bro. Yeah. Dude, it's fucking amazing. There's this one kid, he can't see, and he fucking like skateboards or roller skates.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, dude's dope. Dude's dope. And what it is so what everything's doing is, you get the bats and everything running with sonar. Whatever the organism is the exact same process. It's just what I believe, and people can believe what they want. I'm not forcing anybody to believe this. This is what I believe. That everything is running on the exact same process. And the only difference is what that organism figured out down the line and what it wants. We all start off as one single cell.
Like the way it's been programmed.
When you say program,
because you're talking about a processor.
Yeah. Now see, when you're saying a program, what it is we all started off as this one single cell, and then eventually these cells started grouping. Oh man, come over here, and they started finding like benefits. Man, if I take this cell, man, this cell is really, really sensitive to light. Might be useful. Let's hang out for a long time. And then you got these two cells, and then next thing you know, you got this cell that responds to light sensitivity. And then keep going. Next thing you know, you have something that's receiving. Now you have an eyeball. Now you got this little eyeball swimming around and stuff. It just keeps going. And as you're thinking, as you're creating just this one little force, it's this one process that's using what it has to get what it wants. You know what I mean? And then
I see what you're saying.
To go deeper in down the line, we'll have to go in what that cell wants is not really what that cell thinks it wants. Because at what point does the cell want whatever that force is? So that's something we're gonna have to get into later, though. Yeah, I know, bro.
Like
I know.
That's consciousness.
Yes. Yes. Because then I want to go at when does the cell break off into consciousness? Okay, so we'll have to get into that. We'll have to get into that. But for this, to keep this simple with universal intelligence, I believe that cell is as smart as everybody.
I don't think there's an argument there.
Right? Now check this out. Now this is how I want to prove that. I don't know the name of it, so when we add the video, we'll put the name whatever we do. But this is the cell that it's like a slime, and it's like a fungus. And what they did is they set out like a map of Tokyo, and then they compared it to the train system, and then they put, I don't know, yeast or whatever these things eat in the sort of locations for the cities. So then all this fungi wants to do is get food. So it's using its universal intelligence and its tools to figure out how to get food, And we think of it as like brains. We're brains and we're smart and we're conscious and we think that's what it is, but it's not. I don't think it has anything to do with intelligence. I don't think it has anything to do with it, because this fungus can find the food. When it goes out, it's looking for it at random, just like you'd expect. And then it figures it out. And then when it figures it out, it reconstructs itself to find the best, most efficient way to get food. Always. Now, how smart is this thing? And it was better than the Tokyo system setup. As in better, I mean more efficient. I love Tokyo. But it was a more efficient way to get places. And then I'm thinking about, man, well, okay, what does that mean? Maybe being lazy isn't some kind of a bad thing. Maybe being lazy is you're going to do the most efficient thing possible. You're going to find the best way to do it. And maybe we're just calling that lazy, I don't know. But whatever it all pulls around to, this single cell, I'm pretty sure it's just a single cell. If I'm wrong on that, we'll figure that out. But this fungus is basically as smart as our best, logistical engineering. I don't even know what field that is that does that job. And it doesn't have a brain. So how to figure that out?